Hello everyone. Today we are going to start a new chapter from the unit Ecology. The chapter is Biodiversity and Conservation. So the term biodiversity means the biological diversity, or you can say the diversity of the biological organism. Okay. So biodiversity is the total of all the variety of living organism. And this living organism could be plant, could be animal, could be microorganism. Okay, means total number of organism from any kingdom. Okay, and these organisms could be from any ecosystem like water ecosystem, terrestrial ecosystem or marine ecosystem, anything. Okay, means अर्थ में जितना भी स्पीसीज है और जितना भी लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म है उनका जो वेराइटी है उनको जब हम ऐड कर देंगे it will be known as biodiversity. Okay, and this term biodiversity was first coined by a sociobiologist Edward Wilson in the year 1985. Edward Wilson, a social biologist, he coined this term biodiversity. Okay. Now this biodiversity is categorized into three different levels, and these are genetic diversity, species diversity, and ecological diversity. So let's discuss these levels of biodiversity one by one. First is genetic diversity. So genetic diversity means the diversity at the genetic level. Okay. For a particular species, there might be diversity in their genetic level. Okay, the gene level में gene constitution में diversity हो सकता है due to any kind of mutation or any changes in their gene. Okay, so the total number of genes in the genetic makeup of a species leads to genetic diversity. Okay, genetic diversity means gene में diversity. और ये जीन का डाइवर्सिटी एक पर्टिकुलर स्पीशीज में जीन में डाइवर्सिटी हो सकता है एंड दिस डाइवर्सिटी इन द जेनेटिक लेवल इज नोन एज जेनेटिक डाइवर्सिटी. ओके, फॉर एग्जांपल देयर इज अ मेडिसिनल प्लांट व्हिच इज फाउंड इन हिमालयन रीजन. द प्लांट इज राउल्फिया वोमिटोरिया. दिस प्लांट प्रोड्यूस सम केमिकल्स नोन एज रेसरपाइन. इस प्लांट में डिफरेंट जेनेटिक डाइवर्सिटी है. ये जो डिफरेंट जेनेटिक डाइवर्सिटी है इसके वजह से ये प्लांट एक केमिकल सीक्रेट करता है व्हिच इज नोन एज रेसरपाइन. एक केमिकल का कंसंट्रेशन और पोटेंसी डिफर करता है प्लांट टू प्लांट. मींस इस पर्टिकुलर स्पीशीज का डिफरेंट जो प्लांट है उसमें जो केमिकल कंसंट्रेशन है डिफर करता है एंड दिस इज ड्यू टू जेनेटिक डाइवर्सिटी. दैट मींस इस प्लांट का जो जीन है जीन में डाइवर्सिटी है. That's why they are producing chemical of different concentration. Okay. Similarly, the rice in India, there are around 50,000 strains of rice which are found in India. Okay. And also there are around 1,000 varieties of mangoes found in India. Okay. So these are the example of genetic diversity. These varieties, these different strains, these all are due to different genetic makeup. Okay, same species है but थोड़ा सा changes है gene में. That's why there are different varieties. Okay, so here you can see some of the examples of genetic diversity. So this is the genetic diversity in bananas. You can see the bananas in this picture, their size are different, their colors are different. Also, there will be different nutrient concentration or the amount of nutrient will be different in these varieties of bananas. Okay, similarly here you can see the genetic varieties in mangoes. Okay, so this diversity in mangoes, these are few mangoes diversity, so they are different from each other. This is the genetic diversity in corn. Here you can see the kernels of corn are of different color, and this is due to little bit changes in the corn variety, okay, और in the corn plant, okay, ये थोड़ा change है, इसकी वजह से kernels का जो colors है ये different है in different corns, okay. So these are the examples of genetic diversity. Next is species diversity. Species diversity means diversity at the species level. एक particular area में कितना species है, number of species, okay. So the number of species found in an ecological community, particular ecological area में, एक particular ecological community में कितना species diversity, कितना species numbers है, okay. For example, we know the Indian Western Ghat and Eastern Ghat. So the Western Ghat of India has a greater amphibian species. The amphibian species in Western Ghat of India is more than the Eastern Ghat. Okay. तो यहाँ पे सिर्फ एक पर्टिकुलर स्पीशीज लाइक एम्फीबियन का डिस्कस किया गया है. तो वेस्टर्न घाट में एम्फीबियन टोटल नंबर ऑफ एम्फीबियन स्पीशीज आर मोर देन द नंबर ऑफ एम्फीबियन स्पीशीज इन ईस्टर्न घाट. ओके, so this shows the species diversity in the two ghats, is western and the eastern ghats, okay. And the third type of diversity is ecological diversity. Ecological diversity means the diversity at the ecological level, that means diversity at different biome, okay. So these are the deserts, rainforest, mangrove, coral reef, wetland, estuaries, alpine meadows. These are the different types of ecological diversity, and this ecological diversity vary from a particular place to place or country to country. Okay, suppose India में बहुत ज़्यादा ecological diversity है. Okay, in some other countries there are very less ecological diversity. Okay, so ये जो ecological diversity है इसकी वजह से भी नंबर ऑफ ऑर्गेनिज्म है ये डिफर करता है. ओके, बिकॉज जितना भी ऑर्गेनिज्म है वो सब इकोलॉजिकल कंडीशन में सर्वाइव नहीं करते, इसलिए जितना इकोलॉजिकल डाइवर्सिटी होगा उतना स्पीसीज का नंबर रहेगा इन ए पर्टिकुलर एरिया और इन ए पर्टिकुलर कंट्री, इन ए पर्टिकुलर प्लेस. ओके, सो हियर यू कैन सी डिफरेंट इकोलॉजिकल डाइवर्सिटी. Next is IUCN data. So IUCN means International Union for Conservation of Nature, and this is an organization which deals with the number of organism or number of species, plant species, animal species, microbial species, and they deal with the conservation of these species or conservation of the biodiversity. Okay, so here is a representation of data provided by IUCN in the year 2004. Okay, so according to IUCN 2004, there are more than 1.5 million plant and animal species are present. Okay, and among these, more than 70% are animals. Total number of plant and animal species जो discover हुए हैं, which we know, which we have the data, okay, they are around 1.5 million, and among this 1.5 million, more than 70% are animals, and less than 22% or around 22% are plants. Okay, plants means this includes algae, fungi, bryophyte, gymnosperm and angiosperm. Okay, and जितना भी ये animal species है इसमें से भी फिर से around 70% insect है, and according to this IUCN data, a total number of fungi species in the world is more than the combined total species of fish, amphibian, reptiles and mammals. Okay, अर्थ में जितना भी combined species of fish, amphibian, reptiles और mammals है, इससे ज्यादा species है fungi का. Okay, and there is a scientist Robert May, and he estimated the diversity, biological diversity, and according to Robert May's global estimation, the total number of global species diversity is about 7 million. He estimated that the total number of organisms diversity in Earth is about 7 million, out of which we just know around 1.5 million. Means they are discovered and studied. Okay. Next is representation of these global biodiversity. So here you can see a representation of invertebrates. In this representation, you can see the number of insects, means from the phylum Arthropoda, is more in invertebrates. Okay, followed by other animal groups, then mollusks, and then crustaceans. Okay, so ये एक रिप्रेजेंटेशन है कि इनवर्टिब्रेट्स में कौन सा फाइलम कितने नंबर्स में है. ओके, नेक्स्ट इज रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ प्लांट किंगडम. So here you can see fungi comprises most of the numbers. Okay, followed by angiosperm, then algae, then mosses, then ferns, and then lichens. Okay, similarly here you can see the representation of vertebrates. Number of organisms in fish is highest, then in birds, then reptiles, and amphibians and mammals. Okay, so these are the representation of number of organisms in each of vertebrates, invertebrates, and plants. Okay, in global biodiversity means globally इसका amount कितना है in different categories. Okay, now here is an estimation of biodiversity in India. India में biodiversity कितना है इसका एक data estimation है. So India is a mega biodiversity country. Okay, there are 12 mega biodiversity country and India is one of them. Means India में biodiversity बहुत ज़्यादा है. Okay, so total world में जो India का land है, land area is 2.4%. 2.4% is India's land area, but India comprises of 8.1% biodiversity. Okay, means globally जो biodiversity है इसमें 8.1% is from India. Okay, and India has around 45,000 species of plant and about 90,000 to 1 lakh species of animals. Okay, India में 45,000 species of plants मिलता है और around 1 lakh species of animals. Okay, again according to Robert May's global estimation, he estimated that only 22% of the total species have been recorded. जितना भी species present है सिर्फ 22% ही record किया गया है. He estimated that India has probably 1 lakh species of plant yet to be discovered and around 3 lakh species of animals yet to be discovered and described, means studied. Okay, मतलब इंडिया में at present around 45,000 plant species है, around 1 lakh animal species है, but Robert May has estimated that there could be around 1 lakh species of plant in India and 3 lakh species of animals from India yet to be discovered and described. Okay, means इतना और species discover करना बाकी है from India. Okay, so with this you can understand that how much vast this biodiversity is. Okay, कितना ज़्यादा amount है biodiversity का. Okay, next is patterns of biodiversity. In patterns of biodiversity we will understand the distribution of biodiversity, how biodiversity are distributed in the ecosystem. Okay. So the first pattern of biodiversity is latitudinal gradient. Okay, latitudinal gradient is the species diversity is more in tropics. Tropics means इक्वेटर के आसपास का जो रीजन है उसमें स्पीशीज डाइवर्सिटी ज़्यादा है एंड इट डिक्रीजेस टुवर्ड्स द पोल. जैसे ही ये पोल के डायरेक्शन में जाता है उस स्पीशीज नंबर डिक्रीज हो जाता है. ओके, सो हियर यू कैन सी a globe and this is the equator. In the north there is Tropic of Cancer and the south there is Tropic of Capricorn. Then this region, okay, from Tropic of Cancer to Tropic of Capricorn, this region is the tropical zone. Okay, so according to latitudinal gradient, the biodiversity in this region is the most and it decreases towards the pole. This region between the Arctic Circle and the Tropic of Cancer is temperate region, and in the south, the region between the Tropic of Capricorn and the Antarctic Circle is also the temperate region, and the last region is the polar zone. Okay, in both the poles. So the number of organism or the biodiversity in tropical zone is more than this temperate zone, followed by the polar zone which is least number of organism. Okay, ट्रॉपिकल जोन में सबसे ज्यादा ऑर्गेनिज्म है. ट्रॉपिकल जोन मींस इक्वेटर के आसपास का रीजन. टेम्परेट जोन में थोड़ा कम है और पोलर जोन में बहुत कम बायोडाइवर्सिटी रहता है. सो दिस इज ड्यू टू द लैटिट्यूडिनल डिफरेंस. ओके, again you can see the sun rays falls directly in the equator region, okay, or the tropical region. So the amount of sunlight in tropical region is more. So this is one reason that why the biodiversity is more in tropical zone. Okay, so here we will discuss some examples from the latitudinal gradient. So there we have seen that the tropical region has most number of biodiversity, followed by temperate region, then the polar region. So we will discuss some examples like Colombia, which is in tropical region. So the number of bird species in Colombia is around 1400. Okay, while in New World, when we will move in the northern direction, New World, which is present at the 41° north, it has 105 bird species, and if we move more to the northern direction, means at the 71° north is Greenland, and this Greenland has only 56 species. So from this you can understand that the region which is present near the equator has more number of species. Okay, and when you move towards the pole, the number of species decreases. Okay, similarly India is also in tropical region. India also has number of bird species around 1200. Okay, so another example, it is of Amazonian rainforest, which is the greatest biodiversity. It is also present in tropical region. Okay, Amazonian rainforest is present in South America. ये एक tropical region में present है. ये बहुत बड़ा biodiversity है क्योंकि इसमें बहुत सारे species है. Like there are around 40,000 species of plants in Amazon, around 3,000 fish species, around 1,300 bird species, around 427 mammals, around 427 amphibians, around 378 reptiles, and around 1,25,000 invertebrates. So you can understand the biodiversity in Amazonian rainforest. Now, this latitudinal gradient, which we have discussed, how this latitudinal gradient affect the number of species, affect the biodiversity. Okay, so this difference in biodiversity is due to some reasons. So first is undisturbed tropical region. ओके, ये जो ट्रॉपिकल रीजन है इसमें जो चेंजेस है ये बहुत कम होता है. ओके, सो ड्यू टू दिस ये बहुत ईयर्स तक अनडिस्टर्ब रहता है, जिसके वजह से यहाँ पे जो डाइवर्सिटी है वो डिस्ट्रॉय नहीं होता है, इंक्रीज होता रहता है. ओके, सो नेक्स्ट इज ड्यू टू द एनवायरमेंट. ओके, सो द एनवायरमेंट इन ट्रॉपिकल रीजन इज मोस्टली कांस्टेंट. कुछ ज्यादा फ्लक्चुएट नहीं होता है एनवायरमेंट इन द ट्रॉपिकल रीजन. सो दिस इज अनदर रीजन व्हाई द ऑर्गेनिज्म आर मोर इन ट्रॉपिकल रीजन. ओके, अगर ज्यादा एनवायरमेंट फ्लक्चुएट होगा तो जो ऑर्गेनिज्म है दे विल फाइंड इट डिफिकल्ट टू सर्वाइव. ओके, तो इतना डिफरेंस नहीं है एनवायरमेंट में, इतना फ्लक्चुएट नहीं करता है. दैट्स व्हाई it does not affect the organism more. And the third and the most important point is the solar energy. The sun rays fall directly on the equator, and the tropical region also gain sufficient amount of solar energy, and this leads to high productivity because we know this sunlight is the ultimate source of energy. More the sunlight, more the number of species, the food chain will move properly, the energy flow will occur properly. So this solar energy is a major reason for the high number of diversity in the tropical region. Okay, the next pattern of biodiversity is species area relationship, and it was given by Alexander von Humboldt. Okay, so according to this relationship, when the area increases, the species richness also increases, but up to a certain limit. So here you can see in this graph that when the area increases, area is increasing, with increase in area the species richness is also increasing. Okay, the species richness is also increasing, but up to a certain limit. After that it become constant. Okay, so the graph become a rectangular hyperbola. Okay, the graph between species richness and area for a variety of taxa is a rectangular hyperbola. Okay, because this species is not for a single species, it's for different species. Okay, species diversity. जितना एरिया बढ़ेगा स्पीसीज का डाइवर्सिटी बढ़ेगा, बट अप टू ए लिमिट. आफ्टर दैट जब एरिया बढ़ेगा स्पीसीज और ज्यादा नहीं बढ़ेगा, या बढ़ने से भी बहुत ही स्मॉल क्वांटिटी में बढ़ेगा, तो उसको हम लोग एक कांस्टेंट मान लेते हैं. दैट्स व्हाई द ग्राफ विल लुक लाइक ए रेक्टेंगुलर हाइपरबोला. ओके, एंड it will be represented as s equal to c a to the power z. Okay, but when we convert this representation in logarithmic form, then it will be log s equals to log c plus z log a. Okay, and this gives a straight line. Okay, जब हम लोग ये रेक्टेंगुलर हाइपरबोला का जो इक्वेशन है इसको कन्वर्ट करेंगे इनटू लॉगरिथमिक स्केल, इट विल बिकम ए स्ट्रेट लाइन. ओके, एंड द लॉगरिथमिक इक्वेशन इज दिस, where s equals to species richness, a equals to area, z equals to slope of the line, and c equals to y-intercept. Okay, so this is the graph of species area relationship. Okay, logarithmic, in logarithmic scale it is straight line, and in normal scale it is rectangular hyperbola. Okay, next is importance of species diversity to the ecosystem. What is the need of species diversity? ecosystem में जो इतना diverse ecosystem है उसका importance क्या है? Okay, so the first importance is that the more species will give more stable community. Okay, जहाँ पे स्पीसीज ज़्यादा है वहाँ पे कम्युनिटी भी स्टेबल है. With community we understand different organisms which are dependent on other organism, means overall all the organism are dependent on each other. Okay, एक पर्टिकुलर एरिया में अगर स्पीसीज डाइवर्सिटी है तो वहाँ पे जो ऑर्गेनिजम्स है वो भी स्टेबल होगा, क्योंकि वहाँ पे डिफरेंट स्पीसीज है तो फूड वेब होगा, तो इसके लिए कम्युनिटी स्टेबल होगा. नेक्स्ट इज स्टेबल कम्युनिटी शुड नॉट शो टू मच वेरिएशन. इफ देयर इज अ स्टेबल कम्युनिटी तो इसका एक रूल है कि वो ज्यादा वेरिएशन नहीं दिखाए, क्योंकि ज्यादा कम वेरिएशन होगा तभी जाके ज्यादा प्रोडक्टिविटी होगा. तो टू गेट मैक्सिमम प्रोडक्टिविटी the community need to be stable, and for a stable community there should be a species diversity. Okay, and also a rich biodiversity means species biodiversity is very essential for ecosystem health. Okay, means environmental balance. For environmental balance the species biodiversity is very important, and for survival of human, the species biodiversity is important because we are dependent on many species, many organisms, okay, directly or indirectly. That's why for the survival of human, for the evolution of human, this species diversity is very much important. Okay, so we will continue more in our next class. That's all for today. Thank you.